Hi, and welcome again to Let's Talk Tax. Demola Okewa is my name, and it is always a privilege to come into your homes like this. Thank you for being with us every week and for the response we get from you. It's been an honor hearing from you, and I hope we've been doing justice to the questions you've been asking us. Last week, we had on the show one of the high net worth individuals here in Kwara State, someone who has built quite an empire here, and we wanted to hear from him what his experience has been in relation to the Kwara State Internal Revenue Service since her inception. And today we're going to be bringing to you information on another aspect of taxation that I'm sure many people do not exactly have clarity on. In fact, I have been learning a few things since I've been in this office this morning, and we're going to be discussing primarily on taxes as regards property and tenement. Now, some of us might think those are two different things, but I've learned differently this morning. But I wouldn't preempt our guest because I'll introduce her to you. But before I do, we'll take a quick commercial break, and when I'm back, you'll meet my guest on this episode of Let's Talk Tax. Don't go away.
Good people of Kwara State, our government is working hard to make life better for all of us by providing infrastructures in all sectors: roads, transportation, health, and many more.
Government can and will do more if we all pay our taxes.
Yes, especially the land and property tax.
This will enable government to provide social services.
We have the responsibility to deduct taxes from our employees and remit accordingly.
So if you see Kwara State Internal Revenue Service people for your area, no run or fight them. Government don't do better before. Them go continue to do better for us.
Payment of taxes is very simple. Make sure you collect your receipt for all payments. For continued progress in Kwara, play your part, pay your tax.
You're welcome back to the studio, and as I said earlier, this week on Let's Talk Tax, we're going to be discussing property and tenement rates, taxation in that regard. What exactly does that term mean? What does it mean to you as a taxpayer here in Kwara State? And to help us discuss this very, very interesting topic is no less a personality than the director of the Property and Tenement Directorate. Yes, that's it. So, Hajia Iyabo Abubakar, thank you so much for being on the program.
You're welcome.
All right.
Good morning.
So, maybe I'd like to have a bit of a background on what exactly is property and tenement rate, ma'am.
What actually exists is property tax, and that's a tax levied on landed properties within the state. But the issue of tenement and land charge comes in the area of statutory responsibilities of the various tiers of government. The state charges land charge, while the local government collects tenement rate. So that's where the difference is. But because presently, Kwara State government is absolutely responsible for the collection of revenue in the state, and so has taken over the collection of local government revenue as well. Do you understand? So that is why we are also now responsible for collecting tenement rates on behalf of the local governments. At the end of every month, whatever is collected on behalf of every local government is remitted back.
Okay, so then, if I would push, maybe there's someone out there who is wondering, what exactly then are we charging on when we say I'm paying land charge? Is it my house or my office? Is it the building or the shack shop that is sitting on a piece of land?
Property varies. Your land, your piece of land is a property. Your uncompleted building is an improvement on the empty land, is your property. The completed building is your property. It's not a movable property, right? It's on your land. That's an additional improvement on the land. So we collect on land, completed property, uncompleted property. Each and every one paying have varying rates to pay. For instance, depending on your level of development. If you have a virgin land, you're paying just on the land. Your payment increases as your development on the property on the land.
Okay. So thank you so much, Ma, for shedding light on that. So then let's take a step back and try and look at what this large directorate was like prior to the coming of KWRS. I mean, when it was the Board of Internal Revenue, what was that like in comparison to its operations now?
During the days of the Board of Internal Revenue, the prerogative of collecting property tax was strictly for the Land Bureau. The then Board of Internal Revenue Service was not collecting. It was Land Bureau that was collecting the rates at that time.
Okay. So, but then in comparison to the operations we have now, of course, would we be able to say we've marked a significant improvement compared to what the Bureau of Lands did back in the day?
Yes, because we have taken it further than what Bureau of Lands was doing then, or what the then Board of Internal Revenue was doing. We actually now have, if you look at the number of staff we have for the directorate, it's about the largest in terms of people. It's about the largest directorate in KWRS. And we went as far as going to the field to actually do the enumeration ourselves. I mean, if you had arrived earlier today, you will have met a team heading out to a particular part of the city today to do a refresher enumeration of the area, just to be sure. So it's just to add value and integrity to the process and even to taxpayers, because we want taxpayers to be sure of what they are paying and to actually feel happy paying their tax. So even before they get to pay, they will have met us by way of enumeration. When we come to their houses to do enumeration, we interact, we do interview. You will have met the landowner or the tenant, and we will have assessed, and we have one-on-one discussion with landowners or property owners.
How significant would you say this directorate is to the function of KWRS as a whole body, or indeed maybe to revenue generation in Kwara State as a whole?
All directorates are as important as the other. Because either to KWRS, tax collection on the whole was not a serious business. So coming on board now and starting property tax all over, it's not as if we are starting. We are refreshing the collection and increasing the awareness and ensuring that everybody, before KWRS, very few property owners were paying property tax. Most people that were consistently paying were probably commercial people who for statutory reasons or for corporate existence, must pay. So, but as it is now, it is an all-encompassing, covers the entire state now, and everybody who is a property owner must pay now.
There's been a lot of talk about the awareness, how you brought about the awareness. Since prior to the coming of KWRS and the P&T Directorate as we know it today, property tax wasn't as enforced as it is now. A lot of people across the state were not paying. So what have we been able to do to change that mindset and to get people in Kwara State responding to pay their taxes? Before you answer, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and when we're back, we'll continue to find out how exactly this directorate has gone in helping people pay their property taxes. Don't go away.
Wọ́n ti mú ìwé wọlé wá sà.
Lọ fún accountant kan tètè lọ san ní kíákíá. Èèyàn mi nípínlẹ̀ Kwara. Ìjọba wa gbìyànjú láti máyé dẹrùn fún gbogbo wa. Wọ́n pèsè nǹkan mèremère bí ètò ẹ̀kọ́, ìwòsàn, ọ̀nà tó já gerege àti bẹ́ẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ.
Ìjọba tó ṣe jù bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ tí a bá fọwọ́sowọ́pọ̀ pẹ̀lú wọn nípa ìsanwó orí wa gbogbo.
Pàápàá jùlọ owó orí ilẹ̀ àti dúkìá tó wà lórí ilẹ̀. Ká gbàgbé ìtajà
kíṣẹ́ rere tíjọba ń ṣe lè máa tẹ̀síwájú.
tí ẹ bá ti rí àwọn òṣìṣẹ́ tó ń ṣètò owó orí ní agbègbè yín ẹ má ṣe sá tàbí bá wọn jà fún àǹfààní gbogbo wa ni.
sísanwó orí ti dìrọ̀rùn báyìí fún ìlọsíwájú àti ìdàgbàsókè ìpínlẹ̀ Kwara. ẹ ṣe ẹ̀tọ́ yín ẹ sanwó orí yín. ìpínlẹ̀ Kwara ire ń bẹ ń bí.
Welcome back to the studio. And just before we went on break, we've been here talking to the Director of Property and Tenement in KWRS. And before we went on break, we were just about to enter into that topic that I find a lot of people have been asking lately. What else are they doing to us? How are they helping us understand this whole issue of taxation? We're going to find out what things they have put in place, what programs, what activities they have undertaken to help people familiarize with the concept of paying taxes, particularly property tax. So thank you so much, Mahaji Abubakar, for being with us so far. So we're just going to go right on to find out, what have you been able to do as a directorate to increase the awareness level of people in Kwara State?
The first approach is to actually increase the awareness of taxpayers, property owners, by way of enumeration. Because we need to know where what is and who owns what.
And what it is worth.
What it is worth before we will be able to charge appropriately. So the first awareness we created was enumeration by having one-on-one appearance at every property. We visited virtually all properties.
It's a lot of work.
It is. And it will amaze you that we actually covered the entire state.
Wow.
Exactly. So that was the first thing we did by creating awareness, enumeration. Thereafter, there were advocacies here and there. Up till now, if you listen to the radio stations in the state, you will still hear a lot of our jingles on property tax, encouraging people to pay on their properties, and when they pay, this is what happens and what have you and what have you. And then you find that in the dailies, we have quite a number of adverts here and there.
Now, how would we assess the functionality of these things? Are people responding? Are these activities delivering the desired results in terms of people's response?
It is. There's actually no day that we don't have working customers who are coming to willingly pay.
And I'm sure that's a new thing where people willingly.
It is, especially the elite, right. And business conscious people. Work just on their own, willingly working and pay. But we don't leave it at that. Because what KWRS is out for now is to make tax payments as easy as possible for taxpayers. If it is possible, we don't even want you to leave the comfort of your home or your office before you pay your tax to us. So we are there at your doorstep to collect from you. And every taxpayer must be conscious of and aware of the fact that you don't pay cash to any collector. Sit and do your transfer on your phone, right there. Send somebody to the bank. Our POS, when we come along, we come with our POS machine, pay on our POS, take your receipts, and at your convenience, even where you feel you still don't want, give us a copy of your teller. We'll bring your receipt to you. It's that comfortable, that easy.
Well, I'm sure a lot of people don't know it's that easy. A lot of people think you probably have to fill a form and sign this and sign that.
The only form is your demand notice, which we also bring to you. The only form, there's nothing to fill. All your details are already captured on the demand notice, which we bring to you.
We cannot but note the fact that there are still people who have grievances against government and say, what has government done for us? Why should we pay taxes? Have we had such experiences? Landowners or property owners who say, I don't even have power, I don't have this, why should I pay any taxes on this property? Things like that. Do we have such experiences, and how do we manage such when they happen?
For all taxes, not just property tax. Right. You have resistance by taxpayers. And where we experience that our staff are well schooled enough in dealing with taxpayers' agitations and whatever. So what we do is to take our time to talk to such taxpayers, appeal to them, moral suasion, and let them see the need. Everywhere in the world, wherever there is a recession, the government falls back on tax. And there are so many nations in the world that are surviving on tax payment only, not just Nigeria, where we all know that the resources are just no longer there. Right. So if the government must survive, we all must survive, because we cannot survive without government. We want government to put in place all necessary infrastructure, social facilities, and what have you. We must pay our tax.
For the person who sits out there and is wondering, okay, is there a formula for calculating this property rate? What exactly is the process? Is it 10% of my worth? Is it what? Is there a way I can have an idea? For instance, if I've been hiding my property now and I know, okay, it can't be so expensive, so I can declare what I have. Is there a way someone watching can?
There's actually a formula. It's a function of your land size, location, and use.